Today we're doing 9-2 representing linear functions. We're actually going to split this lesson into two. There's two sections of it, and so I want to focus on each one individually. So this is part one. Part one is just talking about how to graph functions. So here are a few of our vocabulary words today. The first one is linear equation. The second one is linear function. And the third little bit isn't a definition. It's just a little bit about the linear functions and equations. So I'll let you write these down. A linear equation is an equation whose solutions fall on a line on the coordinate plane. And if you look, the base word of linear is line. So everything today should fall in a straight line. If it does not fall on a straight line, that means you did something incorrectly. So incorrect stuff will be not in a straight line. So everything we're looking for is to be straight today. And a linear function is also the same thing. We talked about this last lesson. We talked about function. So when a function forms a straight line also, again, baseline linear. And like I said before, if it's truly linear, there's going to be a constant and consistent change in x and y. So if it's truly a straight line, there's going to be something consistent happening every single time. Okay, so the first part of today is you're going to give us a function or equation, and we have to write 4 solutions to this, and we're going to write them as ordered pairs. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a chart for this. So it's pretty simple. We're just going to make like an H chart. I know that sounds funny. Okay, and we're going to put this as X, and we're going to put this as Y, and this is like our work column. So in your work column, you can put your equation. Then here's the thing. You have control about what happens in this, this table. So you get to decide what things you want to put in your X column. Now, a lot of people forget that. So like on your test, people forget about how to start filling this out. And the thing is, you have choice about what you want to do. So in your X column, you're going to put whatever numbers you want. Now keep it simple. Keep it really, really simple. The numbers I like to use -1, 0, 1, and 2. I mean, that's simple. And the reason why we're using those simple numbers is so our equation is simple and our answer is simple. Now, how do you use this work column? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your column here, and you're going to put in for X, and you're going to solve for Y. So 7 times -1, -7. I'm going to put in 0 now for X, and I get 0. We're going to put 1 in for X, and we get 7. And we're going to put 2 in for X, and we get 14. Now, you might do a lot more work here. This is pretty easy because we can do this in our heads. Now, to write them in ordered pairs, the chart actually has them for you already. So your X here was -1, your Y was 7. Your X here was 0, your Y was 0. Your X here was 1, and 7, and your X was 2, and your Y was 14. This is writing your answers in pairs. Okay? All right, let's try another one. All right, so find 4 solutions of X, or 2X plus 1 equals Y. So you're going to find your 4 solutions, like with your table, and then you're going to write them in ordered pairs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start writing my table. So this is the X, this is your work column, and then this is your Y column. So like we talked about yesterday in the lesson, we talked about your function was your X, you're putting something in. So again, in your X, you can decide what you're going to put into that. You can do -1, 0, 1, and 2. You could do 0, 1, 2, 3. A lot of times I choose a -1 because when we start to graph these, it goes over all of the axes. It goes over your X and your Y if you choose a negative X. And so that can help us see how your line wants to go. All right, so let's put it. So be 2 and -1 plus 1. So 2 times -1 would be -2 plus 1 would be a -1. I should have left some more room here. So here's, all right, so let's put in see if I can, should have left a little room, that's okay. So then I have 2, 0, plus 1, so 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. I'm going to do the same thing for 1. I'm going to put it in for the x there and solve. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And then I'm going to do the same thing with 2. So it'll be 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 would be 5. And let's say you start noticing, so you should start noticing over here some kind of pattern that's going on. If you look, you can start going up by 2s, going up by 2s, going up by 2s, and if you can see a pattern, most likely you're getting the right answers. If you see some pattern going funky, like you go up by 2s and then 3s and then back by 2s all of a sudden, something is wrong, so you have to go back and recheck the work. Okay, so let's write in an order pair. So it'll be -1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 3, it'll be 2, 5. They're your order pairs for this. Okay, so where is this leading us? This is leading us to actually having to graph this equation. So first thing it's going to do is, since a graph itself, the equation is linear. So the first thing you need to do is you need to start making your chart, just like what I was doing. So let's make our chart. Okay. So x, y, and we're going to have 3x minus 4. Okay. So I'm going to do -1, 0, 1, and 2. I'm leaving myself a little space here. Okay. We're going to put it in for x and then solve. So 3 times -1 will be -3 minus 4. We're going to have to keep change. We get a -7 there. Okay. We'll do 0. So it'll be 3 parentheses 0 minus 4. So 3 times 0 was 0 minus 4 will be -4. Ooh, how did that happen? There we go. And then 3 times 1 minus 4. So 3 times 1 is 3 minus 4 being -1. And then we're going to put 2 in. So it'll be 6 minus 4 will be 2. There should be some kind of pattern. You can see the pattern. I'm going up by 3s every time, so something is correct. So I'm doing all right. So now I have to figure out my order pair, just like what we were doing before. Let's find them. So this would be -1, -7. This would be 0, -4. This would be 1, -1. This is going to be 2, 2. Okay, now as soon as I have my order pairs, now I can start to graph. So let's put some numbers on our graph. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger for us. Let's see. There we go. Move this over here for now. All right, so what we have to do is we have to start putting numbers on our graph. Now, if you don't remember this is something you need to pay attention to because we haven't done this in a while. So remember, this is going to start with your positive numbers. Putting them right in the line is essential. If you put them in the middle, you're not going to have things graphed correctly. It's important to use the lines when you're graphing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. 1, -2, -3. There you go. Okay, this is the x-axis here. This is the y-axis up here. Okay, now we're going to start to graph. So we have -1, -7. So remember, we're going to go on the x-axis first. We're going to go over to -1 and then down to -7. So our first step is going to show up. Okay, my next one is 0, -4. So I'm not going to go anywhere in my x, but I'm going to go down to -4. 2, 3, 4. There's my second step. And then I have 1, -1. I'm going to go over to 1 on my x and down to -1 on my y. And then I have 2, 2. It's going to look like this. And you should be able to connect the dots. It's not a great line at all. Let me see if I can redo that. Undo. Let's try it again. But it should be a straight line. Something like that. Something like that. Okay? And it should be exactly straight. This is where I would use a ruler. If necessary, use a ruler to help yourself make a straight line. If you graph your line and it's not straight, that means you need to go back to your table to figure out what you did incorrectly. Because everything today should be in a straight line. If you start graphing, graph, You graph this dot, you graph them over here, and then you graph them over here. Not straight. So that means you did something incorrect in your table. So make sure you check your table, go back and look at it, because a line that is not straight is unacceptable today. All right, so let's try one more. And I just want to do one like this, because if you look at this one, the y is not on the outside. Sometimes that can happen. Like you'll put the y on the inside of the equation instead of where the equal is. So you're going to follow the same rules here. You're going to make your chart. You're going to probably have to show a little more work though for these. Okay. So we're going to do negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So let's put, see, negative 1 plus y equals 1. So you're going to have to actually solve. It's an equation you're going to have to solve. So I have negative 3 plus y equals 1. Now you're going to solve like you did last chapter. You're going to add 3 to both sides, add 3 to both sides. This is going to be 4. Oops. Okay. The same thing, we're going to do 3, 0, parentheses, plus y equals 1. 3 times 0 is 0, 0 plus y equals 1. So your y is going to be 1. You actually have to solve. So I have 3, parentheses, 1, plus y equals 1. Let's see, 3 plus y equals 1. I'm going to have to minus 3 from both sides. Let's see, I should end up with negative 2, I believe, minus 3, it should be negative 2. You can see I'm just solving, that's all I'm doing is shoot. Click off that. Okay. Get rid of this, and this. Oops. Oh my goodness. Let's move them down a little bit. All right, so then, there we go. 3, parentheses 2, plus y equals 1. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus y equals 1. Minus 6 is going to be a negative 5. If you look, you can see a pattern starting. This is going down by 3 every time. So I noticed my pattern should be pretty good. So if we graph it, see, this is going to be negative 1, 4, then I'm going to have 0, 1, 1, negative 2, 3, negative 5. So let's do that. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just go everything to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 5. All right, so negative 1, 4 would be here. 0, 1 would be here. 1, negative 2, and 2, negative 5. And this is how your line would look on a straight line. Like I said, if something is not straight, something is incorrect. So today, you learned how to write 4 solutions to a problem using like an H chart, using a chart. Then you learned how to graph what you had in your chart. So that is all for today, and that was 9-2. Let's go back. 9-2, representing linear functions. That was part 1.